What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider Alex back with yet another video for you guys. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, let's jump right into the topic of this video. It would be an understatement to say that ESPN has little faith in the success of the Las Vegas Raiders moving forward. ESPN recently came out with an article ranking the future of NFL franchises based on how well they think the team is set up for the future. And long story short, the Las Vegas Raiders were ranked dead last in the entire National Football League, which is them essentially projecting that we will likely be one of the worst football teams in the next 3 upcoming seasons, which is what this whole article was based off of. Now, the rankings were split up into 4 separate categories, one of them being the current quarterback situation, the other being the overall roster, not including the quarterback, coaching, and the front office. And in these respective categories, the Raiders were ranked 32nd when it comes to the quarterback situation currently, 31st in overall roster, 29th in coaching, and 28th in the front office. So needless to say, these rankings reflect ESPN's lack of faith in the success of the Raiders moving forward. In this article, ESPN's Louis Riddick spoke about some of the reasoning behind this, and he stated the Raiders needed a franchise quarterback to build around, and they tried desperately to get into position to draft one, but 6 of the quarterbacks were off the board by the time they were drafted at number 13, meaning that they will enter this season with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, and simply put, they have no chance for sustained success in the AFC West or the conference as a whole without a franchise passer. So look, let's just jump into these different categories one by one. And first, when it comes to the current quarterback situation, look, I can definitely understand why certain people in the NFL media is going to have us ranked this low when it comes to the current quarterback situation. And when it comes to what Louis Riddick said, I do agree with him to a sense that we do need to find a franchise quarterback. It will be hard to become a legit playoff contender without having a legit answer at that quarterback position. And really, most NFL media has us in the bottom 3 when it comes to the current quarterback situation. Now, I don't know if necessarily we are the worst. You could technically make an argument that certain teams like the Patriots or the Broncos are currently worse off than us. But one factor I'm sure they're considering is that the fact that they think that maybe Drake May and Bo Nix have higher upsides than what we currently have with Aiden O'Connell. So sure, there is an argument to be made about that. I will say that it is totally understandable, but our current quarterback room has an unproven 4th round quarterback in Aiden O'Connell, who's going into his 2nd season under a new offensive system. And the other option we currently have is a journeyman veteran quarterback in Gardner Minshew. So I can definitely see the uncertainty. And it's not shocking to me that somebody has us ranked this low when it comes to the current quarterback department. Hopefully this lights a fire in Aiden O'Connell to prove his doubters wrong. But jumping into the next category, to me, this is really where it's borderline blasphemous. I really don't understand how, when it comes to the overall roster, and mind you, we're taking out the quarterback situation in the mix, ESPN ranked us as a 31st overall roster, and I definitely disagree with this. I would say our roster top to bottom is very solid. When you include the amount of skill weapons, we have a top 3 wide receiver in Devontae Adams, a solid ass number 2 wide receiver option in Jacoby Myers, a potential generational tight end prospect in Brock Bowers. You got Michael Mayer, who has a promising future as well at the tight end position. You got Trey Tucker, another speedster with a lot of upside as well. Our offensive line, we do have Colton Miller, but we do have some question marks along the offensive line. And at the running back department, sure, we do have a question mark with Zamir White. But if we turn to the defensive side of the football, that's really where we have shown we have some legit playmakers, some legit dogs out there. Obviously you got the likes of Max Crosby, a superstar edge rusher. You got Malcolm Koonce, who broke out last season on the opposite side of Max Crosby. You now have the addition of a legit top 5 potentially a top 3 defensive tackle, and Christian Wilkins, a guy who can actually get to the quarterback as well, be a legit presence up the middle on the defensive line. You got a solid linebacker in Robert Spillane. You got a top 3 slot cornerback, in my opinion, with Nate Hobbs. And just in general, on the defensive side of the football, I feel like we have a great young foundation on that side of the football. And just by having a guy like Matt Crosby, by Devontae Adams alone, just having those type of superstars, I don't see how you have the 31st overall roster. It doesn't really make sense to me. I really do not understand the reasoning for having us so low on the overall talent level of this roster. So this is definitely where I disagree with ESPN big time. Now, the last 2 categories as well, I mean, I can sort of understand. They have Antonio Pierce, the current head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, our current coaching situation, ranked as 29th overall. And although I do feel really good about the future of Antonio Pierce, I like the identity he's bringing to this football team. I can definitely see where they're coming from. He still is a first-year head coach with an unproven track record. So look, I can just see why some people may be hesitant on his future success, as it's still a big wild card. Now, Tom Telesco, though, I mean, he does have a lot of experience at his position. And I definitely think you can make the argument that he should be rated a little bit higher than 28th overall. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of him when we initially hired him. He wasn't my first choice. But at the same time, I don't necessarily think he's one of the worst GMs, having him ranked at 28th overall. But look, with all this being said, I do not think the Raiders have the worst future in the whole NFL, which is what this article ultimately leads up to. I mean, yes, the quarterback situation is still a big question mark, but then again, there are other teams in the National Football League like the Carolina Panthers, like the New England Patriots, like the Denver Broncos, who also have big question marks at that quarterback position with their young quarterbacks. And personally, I would say the Raiders have a better roster. I would say we have more overall talent than those other teams I just mentioned. So I understand the notion that ideally you want to have a franchise quarterback to compete in actually winning the division and dethroning the Kansas City Chiefs. But the Raiders have not had this type of quarterback in years now. And year in and year out, I mean, we continue to beat the Broncos. We almost always consistently split with the Los Angeles Chargers. And for whatever reason, they're always seen like as the next contender in the AFC. I never really understand that. So I really don't understand why so many traditional NFL media experts have us currently projected to be the last place in the AFC West when we haven't been last place in the AFC West since 2018. And this team just got better overall when it comes to the talent level in this offseason, in my opinion. But it is needless to say that the Las Vegas Raiders are coming into this season as huge underdogs, which I think will help this team get fired up and motivated to prove their doubters wrong this season. We got Aiden O'Connell, who should have a legit chip on his shoulder to prove his doubters wrong. We got Antonio Pierce, who is here to prove everybody why Mark Davis made the right decision in hiring him as the full-time head coach. And hopefully this team can just embrace that underdog mentality and just go out there and do all the talking in between those white lines. Personally, I like when the Raiders are coming in as underdogs compared to being favorites. But there's no doubt that we definitely have our work cut out for us this season. But I think we have a legit chance to compete and fight for a playoff spot this year. Obviously, ESPN believes otherwise. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, Raider Nation. Do you guys agree with ESPN's overall analysis on our future moving forward? Let me know in that comment section down below. But with that being said, Raider Nation, that's all for you guys in today's video. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one.